I got to talk. I got to tell what I feel. I got to talk about my life as I see
NYC Youth Sports Podcast Show. I'm your host, Coach Uncle Milt, and my partner in crime here today,
Mr. Phenomenal.
Mr. Phenomenal.
We're back and live.
We're back and live. Sorry about the technical difficulties. We're still working out the kinks, but just like I said, every week we're going to, get better and better. We got Coach Nooch Carr here from E-Hall, also AKA Line of Scrimmage, and we're glad to have him. Coach Nooch, how you doing?
I'm all right. What's going on today, fellas?
Okay. We're going to get, take it back a little bit. You can tell us how you started off in this journey in youth sports.
Man, it's funny because I was never a football player.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Growing up, football wasn't my thing. As big as I was a basketball player. I played basketball pretty much all my life.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody that knew me used to see me like, oh, why don't you get into football? Why don't you do football? And I was like, nah. The only football I really done was street football. Two-hand touch, 3-second hold, playing car to car, like that's all I knew.
That was the field.
That was right there. You know what I'm saying? Junior high school was always basketball.
Yeah.
Till I got to high school.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't play football till I got to high school.
So the highest schooling that you far as playing basketball was what?
High school.
High school?
Yeah.
You played high school ball?
Yeah,
What school was that?
I played at Boys and Girls.
Boys and Girls?
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
I played on junior varsity for 2 years over there, and then it was like, again, I was always big.
Okay.
So it was like, football ain't basketball not taking you nowhere. You know what I'm saying? I ain't going to school for basketball. I was 300 something pounds.
So what position you played?
I was playing small forward, power forward, different things like that. Like,
all right.
You know, I wasn't the best, not at all, but I played ball. A lot of kids
You got mentality that we don't basketball play.
Yeah, it got tough. And I just grinded. It was just having something fun.
So who tapped you on the shoulder and said, come out?
My man Larry Warren, cause I lived on Bergen and Nooch at the time, and he played at Boys and Girls. And his moms and my moms was like real tight, they were real close friends, and he told me to come. I was like, I still was nervous, like, nah, I ain't with it. You know what I'm saying? Then like going into my freshman year, he was like, bro, you playing? He's like, you're playing your freshman year. You ain't gonna be in this building with me.
What position he played?
He was the captain. He was playing linebacker. He was the captain of the team. So
I thought he might have been a running back.
He played guard also.
Okay.
So back then he was playing Iron Man football. So he was playing both ways.
So he recruited you for his defense?
He just recruited me because I was a big body.
Okay.
So you know how that goes. Yeah. You get a big body in around, you want to bring him in. It doesn't matter because it's like it's football. We'll find a place for you. So that's pretty much how I got started. Though went to orientation freshman year. I ain't go to camp because my mother wasn't trying to have me going to camp yet. She was like, nah, you ain't doing that yet. When they come back, you can play. So that's when I really got into football.
So only youth like in basketball. You play
you
play like the street tournaments around
basketball. Yeah, I played in the Bedford YMCA. I grew up in Broward Park, pretty much over Kingston, Bergen. Okay. Like I played ball at forever. Down in Kingston, Atlantic. Played in the Steph tournament. Basketball staff at the tournament in Coney Island. Played in the Kenny King, not Kenny Kings.
Kenny Anderson?
Yeah, the Kenny Anderson
Out in Left Right City.
Left Right City. Played in that. Down there, Brooklyn, USA. Like I just was.
Somebody pulled you.
I was at basketball.
You remember though that back then there wasn't too many football organizations.
Right.
I mean, before I even coached football, even though I played as a youth, I coached basketball. And my son, when I tell them that, they laugh. I'm like, I got trophies for coaching basketball.
When I tell my friends I play ball, they look at me like, even now when I tell the kids, they be looking at me like, bro, stop it. That's all I did. It was basketball, because all the kids I grew up with was basketball. Like now, you don't see the kids outside. I used to have a crate. We used to have a crate on the gate.
What?
We used to shoot on the garbage can, full court on the garbage can. On the garbage can. You know, in front of the building. The older guys put up a rim. They got the screws and everything. They put it up on the rim. And so we used to be outside, even in the winter, shoveling snow. I wasn't outside throwing the football around.
We remember the punishment was not going outside.
Yeah, and I used to hate it.
Sometimes you were like, well, I'll take the beating.
I take the beating. I used to look out the lights. I want to go throw the trash out just to see the guys outside playing ball. Like I said, it's snowstorm back in '96. All types of bad weather. '94, and I'm outside shoveling.
So once you started playing football, what happened to basketball? That football became #1 priority.
Yeah, football. Because when I started playing football, like I said, I played my freshman year and had a couple of friends, Ishmael. Like he was the only freshman on the team that year. So me and him pretty much stuck it out. And I'm like, yo, bro, I'm liking it. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, the freshman year, first time putting pads on and everything, I was just like, it's a different feeling. You should go home sore. And I'm like, damn, I'm going against seniors, because we had the numbers wasn't that big. But I'm like, if I'm doing it now, and if I could take this beating now and learn the game, going into my 10th grade year, it'd be much easier. And that's pretty much what started happening. You know, my freshman year, we actually that year we won the championship, the B division for boys and girls. That was the last B division before they switched back over to the divisions, to the way that they got the stuff going on now. You know, so I definitely was a part of that team as a freshman. God bless his dad, Ron Adams. He pretty much instilled everything I know now, as far as like the mental aspect of it, being tough. That's what he brought to us. You know, so, I definitely learned that from him.
So how far you went from boys and girls? Did you do?
I went from boys and girls.
Thing?
Yeah, I went from boys and girls. I went out to Hudson Valley. I had to go to junior college. So, and that's one of my main reasons why I do what I do now, because what I had to go through.
How did that happen? Like, did you get any offers? Did you get?
I didn't get anything.
You didn't get anything?
Reason, and that's why I said that's why I do the line of scrimmage now, and I try to work with the younger kids, because I didn't know the ropes. Right. I didn't know the ropes. You know, it was.
What is that? What is the ropes that you?
It was what I know was to go to class, pass your classes, so you can play football. So
you didn't know that at the time.
I didn't really understand, you know what I'm saying? I didn't really understand the way it works. I didn't understand the concept. So I used to go to class. Right, like to me, passing the class at the time was 65, 70. So I'm going to class and here you go, not knowing, you ain't going nowhere with this. I didn't start real understanding that till like my junior year. And another reason was because a lot of people didn't go nowhere from the city back in the days.
Right. For football, exactly.
My year, we had a guy named Donald Preston. He won All-American. He was an All-American kid, and he ended up going to junior college. Big kid, Big Donald. We had Big Joe. We had a lot of big guys back then that was athletes, and I could really go somewhere. But again, nobody was really coming out to Brooklyn.
And basketball being the #1 state.
So you think because it was the grades, this is why they didn't really get?
For me, yes. Not for me, yes. Because when I started talking, like I said, I started talking to coaches like my junior year of high school. And that's when I started to realize, like, oh, every coach come in is, where's your transcript? Where's your transcript? And I showed my transcript to one coach, and the coach looked at my transcript and was like, how you even playing high school ball?
Right.
Like, how you even still playing ball? And like I said, I was 11th grade. Still, wanting to run the streets, still wanting to run the halls. And to me, again, getting 65s, 70s, I was like, yo, I'm all right for me. Because that was, again, I'm just going.
Understanding clearinghouse.
I didn't know about clearinghouse.
It wasn't even clearinghouse. I forgot what it was called back then.
I don't even know what it was back then. That's how serious it was. I didn't know about SATs.
I think it might have been called clearinghouse.
I didn't take my SATs until senior year.
Yeah. You know, but that's one of the biggest things that kids has to understand, that travel that road to be into sports, you know, into sports safari. I like to really start kids going into high school and say, now, when you get in high school, you are what you call is a student athlete. And that student name is first, you know, and you have to have a grade, you know what I'm saying, average and things like this, and you have to keep it, you know, and even to, you know, it's part of enhancing your career as a student, you know. You know, if you want to do this, yeah, you know, everybody dreams about playing in the NBA or the NFL or any kind of professional, whatever. You have to know, you have to start and where you have to pave the road and continue and where the end game is. Yeah, with the end game. I think if every kid get a college education out of it, I think that's a winner.
Well,
I think that's a winner, man. That's a winner right there, man. You know, I look at that like, you know, forget about, because to get into professional sports
is a big, like,
you got to hit lotto, man.
I dreamed it. Of course, we all dream. You're outside, you count down 3, 2, 1. You shoot a jump shot, and you know what I'm saying. Like this is what you dream of when you again. When I was growing up, I had all basketballs in my hand, so it was, you know, it was like, yo, bro, let's play ball. My friends wasn't into football.
So now basketball is gone.
So now basketball
is in.
Yeah.
You go to college, Hudson Valley.
Yeah.
What happens after Hudson Valley?
I left. I went there. The reason why I went there, because, like I said, because of the grades. My grades was bad, and I still wanted to play football. One of my close friends, he's still my friend now, my man Adrian. He had got accepted to Hudson Valley, and he was like, yo, bro, you need to apply to Hudson Valley. Come on down, come check it out. So Coach O.G. Fagan at the time, he was one of the recruiters at Hudson Valley. Got in contact with him, went up on a visit to the Valley, and was like, you know what, this is where I'm going. Because I didn't really have no options, and I did. I started, once I fell in love with football, it was like, this is what you want to do, go ahead and do it. And I went to the Valley. It was tough slaying at the Valley. Going to junior college, going that JUCO route is.
So how far you went? You graduated?
Yeah, I did 2 years there, and then I was
Good.
Then I wanted to head to UO at the time. That's why, because that was the closest university. I had it. At the time, my girlfriend at the time was pregnant. So that played the part. You know, I wanted to make sure that everything was good at home, so I left school. So it was over for me after that.
Well, it was really just the beginning.
Yeah, pretty much. It was a new chapter for me.
Exactly.
It was a new chapter for me. You know, like I said, and the stuff that I learned at the junior college, it would have been easier for me if I was prepared properly coming in.
Well, what's good is you can pass that knowledge on down.
And that,
you know, that's the good. Experience is your best teacher sometimes. So when the coaching bug started, when you got the fever to pass it down to the youth.
When I got hurt, because when I left school, I want to say 03 or 04, somewhere in there. I was playing semi-pro football. So I was playing semi-pro football for a while. Started to get into the arena, trying to get into the arena thing, playing, because again, I just wanted to continue to play ball and try to find a way to take care of my family at the time, which was, you know, which is my daughter at the time. So I was doing the arena thing. Said, let me try with coaching. So I jumped at Xavier. 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 I was at Xavier in Manhattan.
So when you started off doing that, what kind of coach was?
The freshman team. I was with the freshman team with Coach Keefe. Coach Keefe and Coach Cohen brought me over, because Coach Cohen was one of my mentors from high school. So he brought me over. Started out with the freshman team, and it wasn't bad for the first go. You know, I had to adjust from being a player to a coach, dealing with different kids, dealing with younger kids at that. This was my first interaction with that. So it wasn't that bad, but I still wanted to play. I still had to, so I stopped coaching. This was like 07, stopped playing. I stopped coaching and just went back to playing football.
You did that semi-pro thing?
Yeah, I went back playing semi-pro because I was still able to work, you know, make a little money. So I went back and I did semi-pro for a while. I was really good at it. I was, again, coming from school, and to me, I thought I was better than some of the guys anyway, so I had a little advantage. That's how I was looking at it. And I used it to my advantage in the semi-pro world. That's how I got my name. Not my name, but a lot of people started knowing me because of that. Me playing in the semi-pro world and doing what I was doing then. And then I broke my ankle. Back in 2009, 2010, I got 18 pins and 2 plates.
Wow.
I broke everything except my Achilles. So when that happened, my wife looked at me. I'm in the hospital. She's like, "Yo, this is over, right?
How much is this pro gonna pay?
How much is? You know what I'm saying? Like, bills gotta get paid. My job at the time I was working, I was a manager. I was assistant manager at McDonald's.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm sitting here and I'm like, I can't go to work. Bills can't get paid. No crutches. You know what I'm saying? So during that whole process, it was like, you know what, this is over for you. And even when the doctor was like, you know, we could take your pins out, I said, nah, we're gonna leave them things in there because if we take them out, I know I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna play. And I know I'm gonna jeopardize another 8 months, 9 months to get back on my feet again. And without insurance and stuff.
So wifey and the pain of all those pins made you come to the realistic, you know, like it's over.
It's over.
Realization,
it's
over.
Because you're getting older, like it's time for you, you know, another chapter. See what else is going to bring for you.
See, the coaching give you a different energy too.
It does.
When you really take it serious, like, you know.
I had to get that.
I had to get that
over the years.
Yeah.
I had to get that over the years.
Yeah.
I had to get that. When I first started, it was rough. You know what I'm saying? When I got back into coaching, that's when I ended up with, I was at Jeff. That was my first time over at Jeff. I was working with Coach Gus, Coach Taji, and them guys over there. Great group of guys over there. Had a great group of kids at the time.
Yeah, I think my son was coaching over there too with y'all.
Yeah, and I think they just won the level 3 championship that year. And they had Mark Thomas, Ebenezer, a couple other guys over there. So when I got over there, I think it was Mark Thomas senior year, and his brother came over. Speedy came over. He joined the Wave. Mr. Ebo, he came New York City that year. Then we had AP, which was one of the toughest running backs that I've seen, you know, back now as far as me coaching. So that's where I really started at.
So which team was better, Grand Street or this one?
Erasmus?
All right. No, I'm saying the one you won the first.
Oh, with Thomas Jeff. Well,
It's a different time.
It was a different time, but it was different players also. In a different, like at Jeff, I just was coming in, so I just was feeling everything out. You know what I'm saying? I didn't really know everything. I still was learning the ropes. I still was learning how to talk to the kids, how to interact with the kids the proper way. So it was a little different when I was at Jeff the first year. You know what I mean? My first couple of years. Then when I got to Grand Street, it was like, oh, this is how things are done. You know what I'm saying?
Like as far as
I had the O-line. Yes, I
varsity O-line?
Yes, I had the varsity O-line. That's when, again, because I was coaching varsity O-line at Thomas Jefferson. That's when I met up. Things was going south over at Grand Street. Over at Jefferson. And that's when I met up with Bruce. I met up with Bruce Eugene that year. Kicked it with him for a little bit, and he was like, "Yo, bro, I got a home for you. Come on over." I'm looking at him like, "Huh?" He was like, "I got a home for you."
Okay.
I just got the head coaching job over here. I think that year, the year before I got there, I think they was 2-6. Or somewhere in that. I think it was 2. I think it was 2-6 or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So when I came and I'm like, you know what? I just came from Jeff trying to build. You know what I'm saying? Let's go. Let's get it done.
So how you feel? How they treated your head coach over there the year after they brought that chip?
They did my man wrong, man. They did Bruce wrong, man. Like it did Bruce wrong. Like Bruce did a lot of stuff for the school, but he did a lot of stuff for the kids. And like I said, just seeing the way he moved with the kids and the way he interacted with the kids, and he always got the great response from the kids. It was always like, how this kid like me? Like Bruce would curse you out in 9 ways. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of cursing you out, you still going to give him a 5 when it's time to go home. You still showing him a lot of respect.
That's a coach, because the coach, #1 job is to get the best out of you and make sure, you're right. He sees something in you that maybe you don't see in yourself. And he pushes you, The coaches know who to push. They know, so you know right away, like, this kid ain't.
And that's exactly how he is.
It's a thin line for being lazy and not good.
Yeah.
Thin line. I'm thinking like it's a thin line. You can look at a kid and say, "Now you lazy, man. Come on." And you supposed to push that one.
And that's, and like I said, I learned that through him, and that's just, you know, some of the stuff, people say a lot of bad stuff and a lot of negative stuff towards that man, and you know what I'm saying, because again, people have their own opinion about different people, but for me, it's good dude.
So we're gonna take a break. We're gonna get ready to go to the break, and we're gonna get into, when we get back, we're gonna get into, you know, a little line of scrimmage,
No problem at
and things like that. So, you know.
This is the season to think of Hot Beats. Hot Beats Electronics, authorized dealers. Cell phones and accessories, think of Hot Beat. Electronics, think of Hot Beat. Car audio, think of Hot Beat. DJ equipment, think of Hot Beat. Visit our stores at 16605 Jamaica Avenue, Jamaica, New York. That's 16605 Jamaica Avenue, Jamaica, New York. Call us at 718-291-1552. That's 718-291-1552. Or shop online at hotbeatnewyork.com. That's www.hotbeatnewyork.com. Layman's Legal Services provides help with eviction, foreclosure, delay of auction, immigration, federal and state lawsuits, and so much more. Ask about the seminar for educational purposes. For more info, call Mr. Johnson at 646-377-4204. That's 646-377-4204. Or email at LLWRINGS1 That's LLWRINGS1
This ad was approved by Layman's Legal Writing and Editorial Services, a paralegal LLC company registered with the state of New York.
Advertise with us at NYC Youth Sports Podcast Show. We offer your business to get in on the ground floor of a fast-growing podcast with voice or video ad spots on our show. Let us help you advertise your products, services, events, fundraising, games, and tournaments here at the NYC Youth Sports Podcast Show. For more info, call us at 347-776-7070. That's 347-776-7070, or email us at nycUsportspodcastshow@gmail.com. That's nycUsportspodcastshow@gmail.com. Looking to get involved in sports media? Be a volunteer for a youth sports podcast show as associate producer, sports journalist, or in video production. If you are into sports, we need you to cover our youth sports games, football, basketball, baseball, track, and so much more. We prefer you to be a high school or college student.
We're back, NYC Youth Sports Podcast Show. We have Coach Nooch, Carr here. We talked a little bit about him starting off playing basketball. He did some football playing at Boys and Girls. You know, he's been at Thomas Jefferson and Xavier and Grant Street. And my question is that how did you get into the training part? When did that start?
I want to say 2015, 2016. The L.O.S. Brian brothers over at Prototype, which is at Packflex, gave me a platform.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I was doing the O-line over there with at Grand Street and things of that, and just recruiting. You know, I learned the ropes by recruiting. Learned from Bruce, learned from Coach, learned from KJ, learned from Stroud, and once I got on that recruiting scene and I started bringing kids in, I started noticing like a lot of kids don't really know the basics. They know the basics, but they don't know the basics. You know, they know how to fire off. They know block this man that's in front. You know what I'm saying? They know that stuff, but when we start talking about terminology, zone blocking left, zone and right.
Firing off is the hardest in youth football.
It is, but it's not.
You talking about high school level now?
No, when coming from youth to high school.
Okay.
Like so, it's like you. So when you're the biggest in youth, is you just block him. and we'll find a way to get through that. You know what I mean? When you move up, it's more now is terminology. Who's the 3-tech? Who's the 1-tech? Who's the 5? That's a wide 9. You know what I'm saying? Who's the inside backer? And when you're trying to teach it, they all looking at you like they don't know what's going on. Again, that's not a knock to the youth teams, not at all, because you know some of the youth teams don't have all the coaching that's necessary.
That goes back to your favorite line about clinics.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Not all youth. Sometimes it's parents that's helping out.
Because I coach O-line, and you know, I try to tell my head coach, like, listen, you know, get them to fire out. But what I used to do is you know, I said, okay, we'll do inside, outside shade, you know, head man on. That right there, if you take that to high school, it's easy to teach what you teach, because now it's the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Inside is 1, head on is, you know what I'm saying, is 2, outside is the next man, unless you're told to go. You know what I'm saying?
It's not that many that know it.
Yeah, and I teach that at 10 years old.
It's not that many, like, if we get 7 linemen that year, about 3 knew exactly what you're talking about. You know what I'm saying? So
because the coach,
they're not taught position, they're taught a play.
They taught a play.
They're not taught position, they're taught a play.
Because you're fighting against the offensive coordinator and the head coach that their time is like, nah, I want to run my 20 plays.
Right.
And I'm like, you gotta block him though, you know.
Right.
You know. And they turn around and say, why he ain't blocking? You missed your man.
You missed this and you missed that.
You know.
You didn't know. You didn't know.
It's repetition, you know.
And
that's repetition.
And that's where I get it from. And that's why I started the training. You know what I'm saying? Once Brian, like I said, development gave me the green light. Spoke to Bruce. Bruce like, bro, this is a market that hasn't been tapped yet. As far as linemen, you got receivers training, you got running back training, you got everything you need, but no lineman training, nowhere. You have to go far out to go get it. So that's what made me, once they like it, bro, do it. And I had people support me. I had my wife, everybody behind me, like, yo, let's do it. Put it together.
But another thing about that too was, when you think about a true O-line coming in high school, a lot of them never got to play youth football because of the weight restrictions back then.
Right.
So now, most linemen that played back then were actually skilled players anyway. So you never got a skilled player to be the line. So it just makes sense that what you do in the sport.
And that's I guess once I started, you know, when I first started, I had Big Joe, who was the center that year, George, Solomon, a couple of those guys, and I had a DN, JT. His father name is Biggie. And they was real big supporters when I first started. I had Sean Deese, coached at Fort Hamilton. I had his son. His son was the center that year over at Fort Hamilton. And they was like, yo, bro, I'm bringing my kid to you. And that's what really got me going. You know what I'm saying? I had 2 from like Sheepshed at the time. Then I had my Grand Street kids. Then I had 1 from Ford. So it was like now people starting to see like, all right.
So what's your resume as far as kids you sent on to collegiate? You haven't sent a kid on to collegiate yet, or you know?
I have a couple. I can't say I physically sent them,
but I'm saying,
but I have touched a lot as far as the football. I have had my hands on a lot of them direction as far as getting better and going to college. Like I can go to schools and just enjoy it. Just for me, it's just to watch them at practice. You know what I'm saying? Just to see the stuff that they have been doing. You know, and this is. I got Stony Brook, you know, had one at Wagner, Cortland, my guy now, I work with him a lot, Tunde, he's over at Rutgers. You know, like I said, the list go, I had Craig Stapleton, he's over at ASA. There's a lot of youth kids. So I get a whole lot of kids now.
Is that both sides of the line?
I just got into the defensive side.
Okay.
It was mainly more just it was offense.
I think defense is more easy.
It is, but I wasn't focusing on that. Okay. So I'm saying my focus was just.
I think O-line is fun. O-line is fun.
O-line
is fun to me. It's
me personally. I enjoyed it.
it's stressful when a kid tell you, yo, you missed that block, man. That's your inside. That's inside. Yeah, that's me. Yeah, that's you.
Yeah, that.
You know that's you, bro.
Yeah, nah, I had to. And once I was able to.
My bad, coach.
Because even when I was in school, I didn't really break down film.
Yeah.
Like I used to watch the film, but never really knew how to break film down.
Yeah.
I never really knew how to. I never really knew how to look at tendencies.
So even though so now what you're saying is you had to become a student.
I had to become a student
of the game.
And Bruce Eugene, no lie, helped me 100% becoming that.
Yeah, yo, that he told me not to say it. I got to say it. That guy's offensive mind.
Listen, the stuff that I learned from him is ridiculous. Like a lot of blocking schemes that, again, blocking schemes that I've ran, or blocking schemes that I didn't run before, and he'll draw it up, and I'm looking at him like, where did you get this from? Like, yo, what is this? How did you do this? And then he started showing me this how you watch film. This how you break stuff down. Like this is how you can see you attack the weak point.
That guy can do his own clinic.
He can. He can.
He can do his own clinic, man.
He can.
You know?
You should see him with the babies, though.
He can. I can call him anytime. I can call him anytime. Yo, what you think about this?
So, you know, we got a clip for a Nooch with a clip up. We're gonna show this clip. And then I ain't forget about y'all. I ain't the last 2 times. I gotta get this right because I got calls that I didn't say it right. You know,
Don't
PSAL. Don't PSAL.
2 times.
2 times.
Yes. City champs. Yes.
City champs.
Yeah. And I'm part of the staff.
I was voting for South Shore. I'm like, man, my nephew played on it. He missed a touchdown pass in the end zone. And I was rooting, you know, it was last year. No, the year before that.
The year before.
I said, these guys are just too good, man.
Nah, it was, and then look, after Grand Street, you know, once it started going left, got a call from my guy Keith. He was over there the same.
Yeah, we ain't getting into that yet. We gonna listen to the video.
All right.
We have the video. We're gonna come back.
No problem.
We ain't gonna forget about you, Hall.
Welcome to the New York City Podcast Show. I'm here introducing Ball Work by Coach High. I'm here with Coach Nooch from the Line of Scrimmage Academy. How does it feel to have coached some of the best linemen in New York City?
It's an honor, you know what I'm saying? It's an honor to be able to coach some of the best guys that's in the city. It's been an honor to coach youth. You know, it's been an honor to coach the high school level in general. You know, starting back, I think when I first started coaching in high school, it was pretty much I was at Xavier Catholic school. I was at Thomas Jefferson High School. From Thomas Jefferson High School, I went over to Grand Street where we won the city championship over there. And from Grand Street, I ended up as of now at Erasmus. So I've been through many different linemen over the years, and it's just something I'm continuing to do. You know, my main goal was pretty much to give back to the guys that don't really know the fundamentals of the line. You know, we get a lot of guys that come from the youth who really don't know what they're doing, or they really don't know the steps, hand placement, you know, the language, things of that. So that's pretty much why I started Line of Scrimmage back in 2015 was when I really put a platform together for the youth guys. And since then, like I said, I've been having guys from different schools. I've sent guys out to Plymouth State. Got a couple guys who I've trained that went to Delaware. Got one of my guys over at Rutgers, at ASA. So there's many schools where guys come back from, and there's guys that I've sent away to school. I've helped send away to school.
So how do you feel about the aspect that they don't call linemen athletes?
Man, that's I laugh about it. You know, I pretty much because a lineman is an athlete. You know, the things that we have to do, you know, from hand coordination and eye coordination to being able to keep up with a small defensive end or a small D tackle at 300 pounds is kind of hard. So, you know, you got to be athletic, you got to be able to have quick feet, and you know, just be able to get up to the next level.
So, in the aspect of coaching and understanding your due diligence in teaching not only line play, but teaching them the aspects of not only being a phenomenal lineman, but just to doing the things in which that you got to do with line of scrimmage and understanding their position and their role as linemen. How do you feel that translates into not only the high school level, but also into college?
That was my purpose, because when I went to school, the stuff that I learned in college, I should have learned in high school. You know, some of the things, some of the terminology. So when I was a freshman in college, I had to go junior college, but when I was a freshman, my first year there, the terminology and the lingo was different. You know, things that I never heard about, things that I should have known when I was in high school. You know, and it put me behind. It put me behind the curve because I really didn't know. So that was, like I said, once I stopped school and I started coaching in high school, it was like you see a lot of kids that go to college, but they're not where they need to be because they really don't know. And you got to learn the terminology and things of that first before you can really be able to play comfortable.
So line play plays a big toll. For all the coaches, all the youth coaches, let it be known that line play plays a big toll in your team winning championships. Coach Nooch is over at South Shore High School on Flatlands Avenue, and we have line of scrimmage being able to be presented to everyone in New York City, all youth organizations, all high schools. Make it your business, make it your due diligence to bring in your linemen if you want them to be better, so we can have a better shot across the board. As far as having linemen reach the potential in which that they can reach, it is an athletic position. They do get paid at a higher premium than all the other positions, and they're needed. I say this and I keep it as a reminder so parents could understand that when you have your bigger kids and not wanting them to play athletic sports is kind of a hindrance, and waiting for them to wait until they reach high school. You want them to be doing things that are for them, for their health, and being coached by guys that are really about teaching and showing them that the aspect of not only playing football, but being healthy in football could be beneficial to their longevity.
You can reach me on Facebook. You can follow me on Facebook at Line of Scrimmage. You can follow me on Instagram at Line of Scrimmage. If you have any more contact, any more information, you can inbox me. I'll send you my phone number, things of that. I do group sessions, we do one-on-ones, and as Coach said again, I just want to thank South Shore for being able to give me a spot to work on Saturdays with the youth. I like to thank a couple of my other coaches that comes out with me all the time. They come out and they gave me a great hand. And like I said, just going forward is I'm just trying to pave the way to give our guys, our linemen, a platform. There's not too many places out here where our linemen can go train. So you can do receiver stuff everywhere, you can do quarterback stuff everywhere,
running back stuff
everything. You really don't have the lineman stuff that's going on here. So
look out.
So just look out.
Look out for us,
out.
guys.
I'm here. I'll be all around. Have a couple of special events coming up. Got the Phantom Phenom coming up. That's where the linemen get a chance to compete. Different things of that. And we have another competition coming up soon, March 15th. So please just be on the lookout. Like I said, you can follow me on Facebook at Nooch Carr. My fan page is Line of Scrimmage on Facebook, and Nooch Carr on Instagram.
We're back, and it's the podcast show, NYC Youth Sports, with Coach Carr. So we left off at touched on a little bit about line of scrimmage and how it started and things like that. And so what you got coming up, other things you got coming up. And also shout out your number and stuff, where you have your workouts at and things like that. And are you taking any more?
Yeah, no, we out there every Saturday from 10 to 12.
So you taking more?
Yeah.
Okay. Shoot it up, man.
Every Saturday, every Saturday we're at South Shore from 10 to 12.
Mm-hmm.
From ages 7 and up. I do everything. From
That's South Shore, Flatlands Avenue, and Ralph Avenue.
65 Flatlands.
Okay.
I'm also, during the weekday, I'm at Packplex, which is at the Paddock Gates over at Canarsie. I'm there Mondays, Thursdays, and Fridays.
Okay.
I do one-on-one sessions there also.
You got your Instagram? You got any?
Yeah, I got my Instagram is Nooch Carr. You can reach me at Nooch Carr on Instagram. You can reach me at Line of Scrimmage on Facebook. And you can reach me at Nooch Carr on Facebook. You can inbox me any questions, any concerns, and anything that relates to playing offensive line.
Okay.
Like right now, I'm partnering up with Bruce Eugene, and Coach Ruley from Christ the King, who has Lineman Factory.
Mm-hmm.
He has Lineman Factory, which is located out in Queens. We're partnering up to do 7-on-7, pretty much big man challenge.
Okay.
We have that coming up March 15th.
Mm-hmm.
The tryouts will be March 15th over at Canarsie, which is located 1600 Rockaway Parkway. That's from 6th grade. That's from 6 to 11.
Okay.
So you guys can register again at Line of Scrimmage. You can register there. I think the link should be up now for you to be able to register. And again, we're just trying to do things different. Like the group of guys that we picked from this tryout, we're down with True Exposure over in Florida.
Okay.
So we'll be taking the guys that we picked. We'll go down to Florida and compete against some of the Florida guys at the True Exposure Camp towards the end of April.
All right. So touch us on the two-time city champion E. Hall Dutchman.
It's good. I can say that.
It's good.
Yeah, Mr. Lambert, man, my man Danny Lambert, man, brought me over. Like I said, once
You coach the O-line there too?
I do more JV.
JV, okay.
I do more JV. I've been learning a lot from Coach Orazio. That's who coaches the varsity O-line.
Mm-hmm.
Like stuff that I watch him.
Mm-hmm.
I watch the things he do. I watch the technique that he teaches, and I learn from him.
You know what? I got a story. How they, some schools got freshmen, junior varsity, and varsity, and what far as if the varsity win the chip, the whole coaching staff win. Because you touch the kid when he comes in that freshman, and he junior varsity, and he moves up to varsity. So I told Coach, I said, because you're not at varsity, you still, you still responsible for this kid.
Yeah, I got
even if he's at varsity.
Well, I've been talking with Danny Lambert myself, and I told him that even though they're no longer with the youth program, the youth coaches should get a ring too. Right, Danny?
Hey, listen, I know. Listen, hey,
I've seen many of my kids go through that program with rings, and I don't have one yet.
Yeah, we got a couple more of your kids that's rolling through that program, man.
You feel like the recruiter should get a ring?
Well, not the recruiter, but
the youth team that they got.
Yeah, because pretty much the youth coach really stands.
Listen, a lot. Listen, again, by me doing JV, these youth coaches touch a lot of these kids, man.
Yeah.
Day in and day in, day out. Some coaches feel that they just did coach, but a lot of youth coaches, they touch a lot of these kids, man, and a lot of these, they look up to a lot of these youth coaches. I know, like I said, you leave one of the, they all talk about it. You can't get a kid that's in our program, or a kid that I met that's part of the Chiefs program that don't mention anything. You know what I'm saying? And it's like Coach Buddy. There's a couple other ones that and they love Buddy. You know what I mean? It's just coaches that they love and they look up to. And they still reach out to them, even being in 11th grade, being in 12th grade. They still reach out to their youth coaches. So the youth coaches they get a big round of applause, man. They have to deal with a lot, and by the time we get them, they seasoned but not seasoned. You know what I'm saying?
So before we get you out of here, though, what do you think is lacking still in New York City youth football or high school football? New York City football.
To me, it's line play. I'll be honest with you. I tell it to anybody. I tell it to anybody. Because again, you always can get the fast guy. You always get a fast guy. Hand the ball off. You run. You going. You always can do that. You know what I mean? But when when you don't have linemen, you don't have guys that actually want to play that position. That's when it starts to get. That's when it starts to get scarce. Like you got a guy 100 and some pounds playing line because he got heart, which is cool. Not knocking that kid, but it's like when he gets to high school, that hurts him. Because now I got to change my whole position. I played offensive line all my life. I played guard, 100 and some pounds, and now you're telling me I got to go play safety.
Right.
Now you're telling me I got to go play linebacker. Like,
Right. I gotta run.
I have to run. This is stuff that I've never done before.
So it's something that me and Coach High is starting. It calls NYC Youth Sports Initiative. It's like mind, body, and soul education, fitness, and nutrition all together. So I want to ask you this: a kid leaving middle school, graduating as freshman in high school, what preparedness he have to do to get ready to be a student athlete?
It's mental toughness, because a lot of it's not even on the field. I'm be honest, it's the classroom.
Is that something that's in you, or that's something that you can?
You gotta want to do it for one. You know what I'm saying? But you also gotta, coming into high school, you gotta have that mindset that this is what I want to do, because we all get tricked. All of us, everybody, we all been through it where you get to school and school is a big school. So now you gotta learn the ropes because you're a freshman. You know what I'm saying? You can start mixing with the wrong crowd. You start going down the wrong ropes. So it's like the biggest advice I give to the youth that's getting into high school is you gotta know exactly what you want to do. You know what I'm saying? You gotta know what you want to do. Either you're gonna be a student athlete, or you're just gonna be a student and you're gonna go hang with your boys.
Or you're gonna be you're gonna be a victim to peer pressure.
And that's
the number one thing.
That's the biggest thing.
That's the biggest thing.
That's the biggest thing.
Is peer pressure.
That's the biggest thing.
You know,
you get these athletes who's top dogs in youth, at all these schools, but then later on, they gone. Like, yo, what happened?
Every school ain't for every kid.
Every school ain't for every kid.
You gotta realize that.
But I think high school period, like, you know, maybe 80% of them, the peer pressure is big, man. You get to because in middle school it's kind of sheltered.
Right.
You know, they close doors, you know, they watch you go to class, and the girls didn't have school.
Mommy taking me to school.
Yeah, and the girls didn't have
girls,
it.
it ain't happening yet. And
Girls
even if the girls is happening, it's not happening as freely as it is when you get to high school.
High school, it's like
it's not happening. So now, normally an 8th grader not speaking to no freshman.
No.
You know what I'm saying? When you're in junior high school, no 8th grader ain't speaking to no freshman. They got their little gang.
Right.
You ain't hanging. But when you get to high school, you got the freshmen that's looking like 12th graders.
Yeah.
So now you got 12th graders talking to freshmen. So now at 13, 14, you got a girl talking to you that's probably 18, 17, 18 years old.
Especially in the football team.
Especially in the football team.
So if a parent comes to you and say, you know, Coach Carr, listen, man, how can I help to make the transition work? You know, what can I do to start, like, you know,
the support at home from parents. A lot of kids that I meet don't really have that support at home. Like, they want to be the best, they want to be good because they know but when you don't got the support at home, it hurts you. Like, even now, I can tell one of my players, do this and do that. When you get home, you got to do this, you do that. You know, discipline them for doing something wrong. But then once they leave outside, what are they doing then? So that's when stuff start going left. They're good with you, but then when they get outside and get on that bus to go home, they get back to that neighborhood where all the guys is at, and it's like, yo, we're going to do homework.
My mom told me, I gotta raise you when you're not around. When I'm not around, rather. You know, I gotta raise you when I'm not around. So you know, I hear a voice in the head, you know what I'm saying? You know, like, oh, don't do this because, you know, and
different times.
You got kids raising kids now.
But I don't think it's out of style because they got iPhones and they got Androids running around. It's important. Sometimes
you got kids raising kids. You got an 18-year-old parent raising a kid.
What you gonna do?
Just had a kid, right? She's 18 and now she's 36.
Yeah.
What you gonna do?
They trying to hang out.
And that's what that's the problem. That's the problem. Yeah. That's where a lot of kids fall. Again, they fall into that.
But we can be witness to this, you know, as far as how the parents down at youth football is. You know, I used to tell kids, you know, don't let your mother grab the bag. He paid for everything in that bag. You hold that bag. They'll grab the bag like it's a pocketbook. Don't worry, coach, you know like.
See, but that comes from a lot of parents babying their kid also. You understand? Like after a game, like again, I didn't do football. I did basketball, but my mother wasn't carrying my sneakers. Right. My mom wasn't carrying my sweaty shirt that I just took off.
But the thing is that in youth football is a lot of equipment, you know. And I try to tell the parents, like, listen, he's responsible for this equipment. He's responsible for his mouthpiece. He's responsible for his helmet.
No, I've been doing this a long time.
Mm-hmm. It sounds good. It sounds good.
That guy's been deaf brother.
Trust me, it sounds good. It sounds good. I don't watch parents.
If it hasn't been done since a tiny mind, that's where it's got to start. If you ain't the tiny mind coach teaching that, then by the time you get them at 11, if they're doing it from 6 to 11, they're gonna still do it. The mother's gonna still do it. The kids gonna still let her do it.
And that's like you said, transition. That's another key with the transition from high school to youth. When the kid's so used to doing something for the last 10 years, by the time you get this kid now, it's so hard to break a kid from what they've been used to doing. And that's where, that's the hard part that people don't understand.
Practice 5 days a week. Not practice 5 days.
You gotta practice 5 days a week. You gotta lift weights. You gotta do everything else. You're not used to that in youth football. You're used to 2 days and going home. And if you got a birthday, okay, I'm not coming to, with us it's birthday, you're gonna have a lot more birthdays, so show up to practice. But when you're younger, it's like, I'm going to Chuck E. Cheese. I'm missing practice because this was my birthday. My mom got a cake for me. My kids will tell you, tell mom bring cake to the practice. We can cut a cake. We can cut a cake. You know what I'm saying? Like, it makes no sense to miss practice.
But we can talk all night, Coach. Listen, man, thank you.
I appreciate it.
And from the bottom of the podcast show, like I tell all the guests, our doors are always open, our phone lines are always open for whatever you want to do. We thank you very, very much for coming, and we hope to have you back in the near future. And just like I said to you, off whatever, you know, you're working on or something like that, just give me a call, man. You know, subscribe to the show.
Yes.
That gives you access to call in on something like watching that you don't agree with.
Yeah.
I definitely watched my man Bruce Eugene joint the other day, so I'm definitely tuned in, and I'm definitely gonna be tuned in.
So we're gonna go to a break, and we're gonna come back with another guest, Elite.
We got the one, the only, KJ Stroud.
My guy KJ.
That's right.
It seems to be an E-Hall week.
This is the season to think of Hot Beats. Hot Beats Electronics, authorized dealers. Cell phones and accessories, think of Hot Beat. Electronics, think of Hot Beat. Car audio, think of Hot Beat. DJ equipment, think of Hot Beat. Visit our stores at 16605 Jamaica Avenue, Jamaica, New York. That's 16605 Jamaica Avenue, Jamaica, New York. Call us at 718-291-1552. That's 718-291-1552. Or shop online at hotbeatnewyork.com. That's www.hotbeatnewyork.com. Layman's Legal Services provides help with eviction, foreclosure, delay of auction, immigration, federal and state lawsuits, and so much more. Ask about the seminar for educational purposes. For more info, call Mr. Johnson at 646-377-4204. That's 646-377-4204. Or email at LLWRINGS1 That's LLWRINGS1
This ad was approved by Layman's Legal Writing and Editorial Services, a paralegal LLC company registered with the state of New York.
Advertise with us at NYC Youth Sports Podcast Show. We offer your business to get in on the ground floor of a fast-growing podcast with voice or video ad spots on our show. Let us help you advertise your products, services, events, fundraising, games, and tournaments here at the NYC Youth Sports Podcast Show. For more info, call us at 347-776-7070. That's 347-776-7070, or email us at nycUsportspodcastshow@gmail.com. That's nycUsportspodcastshow@gmail.com. Looking to get involved in sports media? Be a volunteer for a youth sports podcast show as associate producer, sports journalist, or in video production. If you are into sports, we need you to cover our youth sports games, football, basketball, baseball, track, and so much more. We prefer you to be a high school or college student.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're back. We have a new guest on our show right now. Some of y'all know this gentleman, some of y'all don't, so we're going to introduce you all to the one, the only, KJ Stroud.
Hey, what's going on, Elite? How you doing, man?
I'm doing phenomenal, Mr. Stroud. How are you?
I'm doing elite, man. How you doing?
Great, great, great. Real quick, you know, a lot of people don't really know who you are, what you produce, what you have done. So let's start with your football career playing first. Let's go with youth football through college.
Youth football. I started playing at the Brooklyn Skyhawks. Coach Garvin was my coach. Coach James, who passed away, he was my coach as well. Coach Walter. Then I ended up leaving the Brooklyn Skyhawks and ended up joining the Mobetta Jaguars. Coach Jeff, Coach Chris, all those guys down at Bessie Head, yeah, you know. I was over there for a little bit. Then from there, I went on to high school. I went to Fort Hamilton High School, won 2 city championships. Oh,
okay, go ahead.
You want to pause there?
No, I want to talk about that. Go ahead.
I went to Fort Hamilton High School. From there, I went to Fort Union Military Academy, played professionally. Went to Rutgers, transferred to Bethune-Cookman. And then from there, I played professionally for the New York Jets, and I also played in the CFL for the Toronto Argonauts.
Awesome. How long is you young person? Look young. How long is this ago? You talking about Skyhawks? How old are you?
I am 30 years old.
What?
Yeah, man, 30 years old.
30 years young.
Yeah.
Wow. You gotta see this guy. Still challenging the kids at the field, too.
They're still challenging me. I'm not challenging them, I guess.
So when year you start playing professionally?
My last year playing professionally was in 2014. 2014. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
So now, with all that playing,
right.
Okay, now before we go there, so you played all for those years of football from youth to professional.
Right.
Coaching now.
Right.
Let's talk about that. Where you coached?
So coaching, I was at Grand Street with Coach Bruce. That was the first opportunity I was ever given once my playing days were over. He
What did you do there?
I was the wide receiver coach.
Wide receiver.
Right, I played wide receiver when I was in high school.
Varsity. Varsity, okay.
So, you know, I played receiver my whole life, so that was my specialty. So I had some outstanding mentors, outstanding coaches that taught me some unbelievable techniques. And as soon as my playing career was over, it's like one of those deals where you can't escape who you are, right? I'm a football player. I'm a football coach. I'm someone who's passionate about this game. This game has given me everything. So with that being said, I've never, felt at a point when I wasn't playing, like when it was over, like, oh, I'm done with this game. No, that would be selfish of me to do something like that. So as soon as I jumped into coaching, I fell in love with it right away, but it was a different type of feel. And I had to learn what that was, being a player was like, but now being able to translate a message over to kids. Yeah. Totally different playing field.
Yeah, it's a different love for it.
Right.
It doesn't feel all of it by playing, but it sure feels good that you see a kid that you touch and you coach and you see a kid that's really taking your message and he's producing.
Absolutely.
That's something that makes you feel good.
Absolutely. So I was at Grand Street for 4 years, up until Coach Bruce, got fired, and then the opportunity came where Coach Lambert over at Erasmus Hall presented the opportunity for me to be the offense coordinator which was the new challenge for me. I've always been a person that's always wanted to chase challenges. I've never been the type of person to settle and be comfortable. I feel the second you feel any type of comfort, you should be afraid. You should feel some type of scare. I've always been, just one of those people that just not afraid to run through a fire. That's just me. And Coach Lambert presented a fiery challenge for me that I would not have said no to. If anybody knows anything about Erasmus football, and I will say this, and this will be, one of the things that I still uphold. It is the mecca of high school football in New York City, hands down. He's done a fantastic job, building his program. He's been here for 18 years, and if you look at it now and where it's at right now and the direction that it's going, it's only going up. It's on an incline. Has been in the championship 6 years in a row, and that's not by default, and it's not by talent. It starts with him. And I've been there. I was there for 3 seasons. I was the offensive coordinator, and now my focus now is just on Playmakers Academy, which is my company where I've take all the skills and the knowledge and all the things that I've learned playing a receiver position, and I give it back to the kids in the community. I've been running for 5 years, and how it started was in 2015. I was blessed enough to coach Taysir Mack, who's at the University of Pittsburgh, and he was arguably the best receiver in the state at the time. And talented kid, but very, very raw.
So before we get into that, let's give us a roundabout. What is Playmaker Academy? What does it actually do for the kids?
So Playmakers Academy provides a few things. It provides a mentorship. It provides foundational skills. And believe it or not, it provides a connection to me where I'm that big brother, that coach, or that whatever role you feel like I could fit in your life. That's what Playmakers Academy is.
So what kind of kids you reach, or what age kind of kids?
So originally Playmakers Academy, I just worked with high school kids, right?
Okay.
And then at one point in time, a parent arrives to me and brought an idea like, hey, are you working with younger kids? And I'm thinking, how can I get younger kids to take some of the techniques and some of the life lessons that I want to relay? And it just was one of those deals where I was like, you know what? I'm not going to shy away from this challenge, right? I'm one of those guys who's not afraid of challenges and all about diving in and doing something. And my first kid I ever worked with, he was about 9 years old. And that's where it sparked at, where I started working with young kids. So now I start working with kids from 8 years old all the way through, all the way up to college.
Because I feel if you start young, it's easier.
Right.
When you start building that, that block, brick by brick.
Right.
By the time it gets to high school, it's easier.
So if you think of it like a house, right? You got to build your foundation. So now I think of it when I get the kids that young, I'm building that rock. That's the foundation that it's on. So now when I constantly, teach these techniques and teach these different lessons, it becomes habituary. It becomes habit, right? It takes thousands and thousands of reps until something becomes a habit. So now if you constantly hear Coach KJ drilling this thing or this technique at me, at a very young age, now it becomes habit. You already
muscle memory,
right? Muscle memory, right? Trained behavior becomes instant, so you're naturally just doing it.
It's not even training behavior anymore. It's just
instant. It's what you know, right? So here it is. That's where I started from young. So now by the time you're in, and with these skills that I give you, you're able not to just be successful with your particular age group. You're able to be successful against other kids, right? I got literally kids that are probably more technically or more polishedly sound to some high school kids that never decided to join my program. And it's not by default that they're able to excel and go into these programs because they got technique. There's no difference between a freshman that goes into college at 17 years old versus somebody who's 23 years old as a senior, right? They're both two, similar athletes, but at the same time, the technique is what separates people. You know what I mean? So that's what I pride and build my program on, the technique and the foundation, the mentorship. Allow these kids to be successful.
So Taysir being one of your first guys.
So Taysir was the first kid I ever coached.
And name some other prominent.
Taysir was the first kid. Then at that point, I ended up attracting some other kids. Ahmed Ba, who's at North Carolina A&T. Kareem Davis was at Delaware State, and then when I got to Erasmus, I was able to mentor and guide Sean Ryan, who's at West Virginia, Aaron Krusek, who just transferred to Rutgers University.
My son?
Yeah, your son.
Oh my God.
Your son, yeah. I was fortunate enough to coach him, you know, put all that gift that he had to use.
So you have anybody that's on the cusp of getting into professional sports?
So right now,
Yeah,
the closest guy that is going,
that you look at and say, this guy can play pro.
he's all right, but I'm not gonna be honest. The guy who's closest to the cusp is Taysom Mack. He's going into his senior year at University of Pittsburgh, and he was a Biletnikoff semifinalist last
He's
year.
having a phenomenal year.
So
What position he plays?
plays wide receiver.
Okay.
So, you know, things are on the rise for him. He has a bright future ahead of him. Everything goes according to plan.
Will we see him
We'll
on
see him on
Sundays?
Sundays, man. He has ability.
Did you
Humble young man.
I've been looking at the show, you done told me that.
I mean,
do you tell your players like, you know, listen, you know, I'm Yoda, you know, listen, you look like you the one. You know?
I'm gonna tell you something. My kids can tell you that I'm very hard to satisfy, to please, just because you get so many people that don't know you, that, you know, feel that fire of, oh man, that was amazing play, good job.
Yeah.
I gotta be that bad cop. Hey yo, why didn't you catch this pass and then split this tackle? Like, oh, look, you were a little bit late on that step. Or like, I'm that guy. But at the same time, I'm also that guy, but I'll give him a compliment. Yeah, that's a good catch.
You have to be that.
Right.
To listen, man, it's here and it's up here.
Right.
And you play professional sports.
Right.
And you know, you get sick when you get cut.
Yeah,
you go.
it's tough.
Yeah, but also, here you are playing, you're a receiver.
Right.
What are receivers expected to do?
Expected to make plays. End of the day,
Catch
Then
the
you're
ball.
well.
hey, Playmakers Academy,
Exactly.
chicks dig guys who score touchdowns.
Yeah.
Point blank.
Yeah. Like a quarterback, he's trying to get the ball out there.
Right.
If you're not getting the ball out there, what are you going to say good about it?
Hey, he's not getting the job done. You
Yeah.
gotta find somebody who's gonna do it.
Yeah.
So now we have Playmakers Academy. You're also part of New York Hustle
Right.
with the receivers. I see you doing a phenomenal job over there as well.
Right.
Matter of fact, we'll both be in New Orleans together this
Right.
weekend.
Leaving Friday.
What do you feel about some of those kids that you really don't get to coach on a daily basis, but you see talent?
Okay, so my first splash with like, other than seeing skill, right? Because it's like, you know, it's a tryout and everything. A lot of the kids there have talent, but talent only takes you oh so far. It's like having knowledge of the game and understanding the why. Why, you know, instead of just knowing, yo, coach, I have this route. Understand why you have this route. Understand the whole picture of the concept of why everything needs to fall in place. So like, just being around some of these, young kids for the time that I am, I just realized, not knocking anyone, but some of these, kids are so far behind, and I think that starts a little bit with coaching. And I don't know if that's because of, certain coaches not going out and going to clinics and, gathering information.
You speaking truth.
But it's just, if I'm going to be a coach, right, and I want to give a kid, the best opportunity to be successful, it's my job as an educator, because you're not just a coach, you're a teacher.
Right.
So if you're a teacher, teachers go to workshops. So it's your job as a coach to go to a workshop, a clinic, so you can constantly evolve, so you can constantly give information so kids can constantly
say that one more
continue to grow.
time? Say that one more time.
So as a coach, you're a teacher. You're a teacher. You're not a football coach. You're a football teacher. I look at myself as a football teacher.
Exactly.
And as a teacher, teachers go to workshops. Teachers go to workshop. Why? To gain knowledge, to gain information on different rubrics that they're teaching their students. So as a coach, it's your job to go to these clinics. Why? So you can give your athletes the best resources possible.
It's always evolving.
For them to be successful.
Always evolving.
Absolutely. The game is evolving, right? We got skill players, running 4.2s. We got linemen at 350 pounds running 4.6s.
Yeah.
The game is evolving, and if you're not evolving with what's going on, you're going to get wiped out.
Yeah, and where it's really needed is at the lower level.
Absolutely.
Because if you get it right at the lower level, then it's your job. I wouldn't say easier, but your job would be, not as hard. It's with, the team, overall team,
I think one of the things I think, New York City football needs to take in order to grow, I think there should be more of opportunities where youth coaches mingle with high school coaches, and there's clinics where information can be given. So now that the learning curve is a little bit easier. Our kids are so far behind when it comes to just being, exceptionally just with technique because of everybody's teaching different things. Yeah, everybody's gonna have their own ways of doing it, but let's set a foundation. Something as simple as a stance and start, where our kid that comes out to play JV football should know that, should know how to get in a three-point stance, should know how to get in a receiver stance, or whatever the stance may be, opposed to, as a high school coach having to teach that. Where we could get a little bit more, we could get into a little bit more of, the technicalities of some of the things.
Some of the best clinics I ever went to were done by high school coaches.
Wow.
I remember going to E Hall and Ross, Coach Ross, doing a clinic.
Okay.
I remember going all the way out to Jersey where Hudson Catholic does clinics. Much what I understood what was going on there.
Right.
And I do at Glacier for me.
Mm-hmm.
But accomplishments. I see you got a little box out there.
Yeah, I got a little box.
Jewelry box.
Man. I'll
explain every last one of them.
So I'll give you a little rundown.
Yeah.
So the first one,
Pretty as hell.
I'll open the case up.
Okay,
Right?
okay.
So this one right here was in 2005, my junior year of high school. We lost one game. To Dwight Clinton. And after that, we went on our championship run. Ended up winning a city championship that year. Moving on to the next year, we repeated as champions. So in high school, I won 25 games straight. So when it comes to arguing about losing, I don't really gotta have that argument with too many people. I just got my case to show it.
Mm-hmm.
Then from there, I went to Rutgers University, won 2 bowl games. This one right here is I don't really remember, but it's the Papa John's Bowl, and then from here is St. Petersburg Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Then after that, I transferred to Bethune-Cookman. We were conference champions, won the MEAC that year. That was in 2013. And these next 2 are, from Grand Street, we won the city championship. We were undefeated that year.
Mm-hmm.
And then this is last year's championship at Erasmus. And then I got one more bad boy on the way.
Yeah?
Yeah, this one.
Oh, for this year?
For this year.
Wow.
As champion. So I'm working on my second case.
Well, some of us, like myself, haven't got our first case. Danny Lamberg Club.
So yeah, man.
That's great, man. So this Playmaker Academy,
Right.
Where you located at?
So,
where do you work out?
I do a lot of my training in Ozone Park at Premier Baseball.
Okay.
One of my college buddies.
And where's that at?
That's in Ozone Park, 86-30, 103rd Avenue.
Okay.
And one of my buddies, he runs a training facility out there, CJ, at Turn 2 Fitness.
Okay.
We went to college together at Bethune-Cookman. He played baseball, and right now he trains a bunch of our athletes. Trains a bunch of athletes from all over, from Abraham Lincoln High School, from Erasmus. He worked with our kids for the past 2 years. And works with youth. Yeah, he works with a lot of youth kids. He does baseball training. He's an outstanding guy. Does a really good job, just building our kids up, whether it be on the field or off the field.
Okay. So tell us how you felt. Matter of fact, you gotta excuse me because I didn't do a lot of research.
Okay.
But tell us how you felt when you got that call to be a Jet.
So to be a Jet.
How do you got there anyway? Tell how you got there.
So it was. I'll tell you this much: the odds of being a professional athlete are very, very slim, and it takes a lot of sacrifices. It just takes a lot of commitment, and for something that I love so much, I was willing to sacrifice. And my definition of sacrifice is love is a little bit different than anybody else's. Like love isn't a feeling to me, because your feelings change day to day. When I think of love, I think of what are you willing to sacrifice, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if I love football, I'm willing to sacrifice anything for it,
Mm-hmm.
and I still feel that way to this day. Like I'm willing to sacrifice anything for this game just because of all that it's given me. So when it came to becoming a professional, it was just, I had to make a lot of sacrifices, I had to make a lot of decisions. You know, just being real strict, being real nitty gritty to every little detail. From preparation to my lifestyle changed, because I was making a lifestyle changing decision if I was going to go after being a professional. So I trained with one of my mentors, L.O.S. He's doing phenomenal things on TV, by the way.
Who actually also was in the NFL.
He was in the NFL as well. So throughout the process of anything, you're gonna need some mentors. You just have to have that.
So your role was you a draft? Please excuse me.
Okay.
I usually do my research.
Yeah, it's okay.
You know, was you a draft pick?
So I was an undrafted free agent. I signed like moments after the draft.
Okay.
Right.
Well, moments after. Well, did you go through the combine?
So I did so at the time they had regional combines.
Okay.
So I ended up doing a regional combine at the Jets facility, and
you
timed unbelievably, which then got me the opportunity to get invited to some other things.
Okay.
And then from there, you know, I had a pro day, and from the pro day, that's where everything just sparked. Like I went out there, I ran a 4.4, jumped a 40-inch vertical, I had some outstanding numbers, which then, you know, about 13 teams caught eye to it. And it was just one of those deals where I put myself in the best situation to be successful. You know, it was just all about my preparation.
Well, I'm going to ask you this.
Okay.
Right? You got the call from your agent.
Yeah.
You didn't know who.
No, I had an idea.
You had an idea?
I had an idea.
But it wasn't real definite or something?
So it was when it was, no.
So I want you to paint the picture when you got the call and they said, this is the Jets.
So think of it about.
How do you feel?
So at the pro day, teams can call you to work out for them.
Okay.
So I had a list of teams that called me for working out. And then, you know, a lot of teams started to talk and say, hey, you know, you're on our board. And then, you know, we don't know how this thing goes, but you're somebody who's going to have a shot with us if you're around. So on that Tuesday of the draft, I knew I was going to play professional football just because of the things that I did, right? You know what I mean? Like now it's just a matter of where. So the relief of knowing was kind of like,
But you even know, and because I mean the draft go what?
7 rounds.
7 rounds. I mean,
right. But you don't know how that plays out.
Right.
You just,
I mean, did you get called at any one of 7 rounds?
So during the 7 rounds, right? I'm sitting there in the bowling alley, and I'm sitting there, and my agent's hitting my phone up, and then a couple of my friends that do play, you know, one of my friends actually reached out to me, and he was at the time he was with the Cincinnati Bengals, and he was just telling me about one of his coaches and what they're possibly doing, and he reached out to me. It was kind of strange that he actually did at that time, but it was just like, yo, you know, like, you know, the Bengals got interest in you, just giving me a little insight. That one of my other buddies who was, you know, with the Jets, and he also said to me, he's like, you know, I really think you're going to be a Jet, bro. I have a funny feeling that that's where you're going to end up.
Like somebody could approach them from the
right. So
office.
It was just yeah. It was one of those deals. It was one of those deals where it was just, you know.
So how you felt when you was the front office running like manager? What do you call it? Manager called you and.
So it was my agent that called. I spoke to. I'm sorry. I spoke to
somebody at the Jets.
Somebody at the Jets. At the time, it was a scout. His name was Aaron Glenn. And Rex Ryan was the coach at the time. But I spoke to Aaron Glenn, who told me, hey, and I also spoke to the receiver coach as well. That told me, you know, we're thinking about giving you a priority free agent deal. You'll get a signing bonus, so on and so forth. This is your signing bonus, and at that time, I got another phone call from the Giants. I got a phone call from the Giants, then I went from the Giants, and I got a phone call from the Jaguars, and I went from the Jaguars to get a phone call from Dallas. So then it's like, all right.
Well, all of these are options?
These were all options after the draft as an undrafted guy. It was about 12 of them, but these are just the ones that stuck to me. So you're sitting there and you think of the, you know, the best scenario, right? And you know, you gotta kind of weigh your options, because you don't want to go somewhere where it's like possible to make a team, you just a camp body or something like that. So it's like processing all that and then figuring it out. What's the best scenario for me? And at the time, the Jets were the best scenario, and I ended up signing with them, and I was there for training camp.
Oh, so you made the choice because the business, or you made a choice?
Oh,
because of business.
Absolutely.
Okay.
When you're making these choices, you gotta think business related.
Are you a Jet fan?
I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I was a fan of just
Football.
but at the same time, I was a fan of Michael Vick, man. Like Michael Vick was one of those guys.
So you're an
that
Atlanta
just-
Falcons fan?
I wasn't an Atlanta Falcon fan. I was a Michael Vick fan.
Okay.
And he was just someone who was just instrumental in my life. Like I remember watching him play when he was in college at Virginia Tech and he almost beat Florida State. At that point, that's when I realized like I wanted to play college football. You know what I mean? And then being in the college football atmosphere and you see where everything goes and you're just like, yo, I really.
So you don't have a particular team?
So if nowadays, I'm gonna be honest with you, like I can watch a Jet game. I love watching Jet games. They do a really good job as far as their presentation goes. But I'm gonna be honest with you, I love watching Tom Brady play.
Okay.
It's just, it's unbelievable what he's done at 42 years old. Like he's one of the best, and he's performing.
Well, we're talking about
as
good pro system,
right? I don't think it's so much of the system.
No?
Yes, it has the system, but at the same time, you can have a system in play, but if you don't got the players to run your system doesn't look like anything.
Yeah.
And I know that as a coach, right? I can have all the X's and O's to drive the car, but if you ain't got the keys, it don't matter. So you gotta give credit when credit's due. And the shuffling pieces around him have shuffled. From Randy Moss to all these other guys.
From whoever.
But it's that one piece, those two pieces that haven't separated
Him and the coach.
him and that coach. So that gives some respect to that.
I gotta say this one thing too. I remember you invited me down to come watch you as a Jet too.
Yeah. Yes, you were. Yes. Yes, you were.
Go back.
Yes.
So we're gonna go to a little break and we're gonna come back and talk to some more with Coach
KJ Stroud.
This is the season to think of Hot Beats. Hot Beats Electronics, authorized dealers. Cell phones and accessories, think of Hot Beat. Electronics, think of Hot Beat. Car audio, think of Hot Beat. DJ equipment, think of Hot Beat. Visit our stores at 16605 Jamaica Avenue, Jamaica, New York. That's 16605 Jamaica Avenue, Jamaica, New York. Call us at 718-291-1552. That's 718-291-1552. Or shop online at hotbeatnewyork.com. That's www.hotbeatnewyork.com. Layman's Legal Services provides help with eviction, foreclosure, delay of auction, immigration, federal and state lawsuits, and so much more. Ask about the seminar for educational purposes. For more info, call Mr. Johnson at 646-377-4204. That's 646-377-4204. Or email at LLWRINGS1 That's LLWRINGS1
This ad was approved by Layman's Legal Writing and Editorial Services, a paralegal LLC company registered with the state of New York.
Advertise with us at NYC Youth Sports Podcast Show. We offer your business to get in on the ground floor of a fast-growing podcast with voice or video ad spots on our show. Let us help you advertise your products, services, events, fundraising, games, and tournaments here at the NYC Youth Sports Podcast Show. For more info, call us at 347-776-7070. That's 347-776-7070, or email us at nycUsportspodcastshow@gmail.com. That's nycUsportspodcastshow@gmail.com. Looking to get involved in sports media? Be a volunteer for a youth sports podcast show as associate producer, sports journalist, or in video production. If you are into sports, we need you to cover our youth sports games, football, basketball, baseball, track, and so much more. We prefer you to be a high school or college student.
We're back, NYC Youth Sports Podcast Show, and we got Coach KJ Stroud. KJ Stroud. And I want you to, whatever you got to promote, you know, where you're going to be at, tell the people where you're going to be, what you're doing,
Okay.
you know, what's coming up in the next future.
Right now, my focus is on Playmakers Academy and just building its brand and just being more accessible to these, you know, youth athletes, just, well, sports student athletes, just because I'm a tool, right? And I'm here to just, you know, give my knowledge, give everything that I've learned over the years of just being a coach, being a player. And right now, that's the primary focus. And at the same time, I'm also working with New York City Hustle, you know, giving, you know, my help to with the 18U team and the 15U team, and just, you know, doing everything necessary just to give these kids the opportunities that I had. That's the biggest thing. Just giving these kids the opportunities to go on and see the world and just understand that this game could take you so many places, but it's just a matter of who you rub shoulders with and who you just come across, right? You never know how far a handshake or a simple conversation can take you, right? Like just this week, I ended up rubbing shoulders with a parent that knew somebody that worked on Wall Street, and now next thing you know, we're talking about, you know, possibly collabing and doing some things charity-wise. So it's just a matter of who you rub shoulders with, how you present yourself, and just who you stand for as a person. And
I know I missed a trip to Nashville.
Oh yeah, man.
Who'd you rub shoulders with there?
I mean, there I saw a lot of the coaches that coached me, and they were just, you know, they were up to date with what's going on in New York City. But we're not that far. We're not behind on what's going on. Like, we're doing the right things. And, you know, with our kids playing at the highest levels, playing at the Power 5 levels. New York City has the lens on New York City is a lot bigger than what it used to be, and that's a credit to these coaches and these parents just doing a phenomenal job giving their kids the opportunities to go out there and be successful. It's a village. It takes everybody, from the parents, from the coaches, from the players, right? It's one big commitment of saying, hey, we're going to do this, and staying committed to what you're saying you're going to do, right? You know, being committed to something is continuing to do something when that feeling that you said that you were going to do it has left, gone a different way.
Exactly.
And that's pretty much what it takes in anything in life, right? If you're going to go do something, you got to keep that same energy and go out there and go do it. But as far as if you want to get in touch with Playmakers Academy, you can follow me on Instagram at @1 Playmakers Academy. I got a Twitter, same deal. And I'm really handsy. I'm someone who's accessible. I love answering emails. I'm not somebody who's going to take their time. I just feel like, you know, you never know who you can help, and you never know if that situation could be, you know, in a crisis situation or just something that's, you know, hey coach, I need some type of help with something. So I'm one of those people. If you shoot me up, I'm gonna hit you back ASAP.
So when the podcast will start back up?
The podcast will start back up in the fall. I'll probably twinkle around with it in the summer if I could get around in like different places, different high schools just to watch football. Depending upon how everything works out with me football-wise, I'm still trying to figure out like what's next. I haven't really, you know, I got some things in the work.
I'm gonna tell you.
So I'm sitting there just being patient before everything splashes.
I want to tell you this, and that's doing it. We had our 5th episode, and you know we got some ups and downs and things.
Right.
If you want to do this, you have to put your all in it.
Absolutely.
To do this, 'cause
right.
It takes a lot of time.
Absolutely.
And you know we're doing it, and budget wise, and
right.
you know doing other things and trying to make this grow. And I got a commitment. I stopped coaching. I got a commitment to this.
Right.
You know, and I'm not afraid. I'm fearless because you know before we go to hear yes, I gotta hear no.
Right.
Before to be successful,
You gotta be unsuccessful.
it gotta be unsuccessful.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm sorry.
Good.
You know, I gotta go from a few guests to 100 guests,
right.
from 2 lists to 2 viewers to 1,000. I'm building this brick by brick,
right.
and I'm going to stay consistent. So, you know, to want to do this, you gotta. I don't know if coaching and you doing other things because this is serious over here,
right?
Man, you know, to really
like anything else in life, you gotta find a balance.
Yeah.
Right. And I realized that last year with my episodes and everything. Everything has to be a balance. And I think for you guys do more of an in-studio deal. Mine's always taking place over the phone, so it's a little bit easier for me. And
but you still gotta have time.
oh yeah, actually, you got
24 hours in a day.
You got to dedicate some time to do some things, and I know how to maneuver, and I'm tech savvy, so it's a little easy.
I'm up 3 in the morning.
Oh no,
doing voice ads and things like that. You know, I just it's work.
It is.
I love it. It's just like I wasn't I wasn't the best coach.
Right.
I was just I didn't play football. I played basketball.
Right.
When I got into the coaching, I really got into it because of mentoring. And when I got this, I said, "Oh man, I like this.
Right.
This is what I like to do." And I know that commitment. And I remember you, your podcast, and I see it and things like that. I heard it a couple. I listened to it a couple of times. You're on the right road. You're on the right road.
I think the focus of that is just, there's so many stories that you don't hear about when it comes to football. Like, I guess everybody sees what's going on television of the product, right?
Yeah.
You see Tayseer catch a touchdown. You see Aaron run back kick returns in a Rose Bowl. So you don't hear about the stories before what it took to get there. And believe it or not, I think those are the stories that should be told, that should be, exposed to the youth, to the parents, to the coaches, just because it doesn't happen by coincidence.
Right.
It happens because of the commitment, because of the grind.
Right.
And that's what New York City Playmaker Podcast has been able to provide to some kids, that outlet of saying, hey, this was my journey, this was my grind. Now I'm in college, and what that grind is still like.
Yeah.
I had a kid on there, Christian Izzy, who's at Rutgers, and he was arguably one of the best players on our team when we were at Erasmus in 2017. And he spoke so, passionate about football and what it has done for him. But he also, he was a real confident football player, but he had to taste that spoon of humility when he got to college. When it was time to
the same kind of player you are.
When he had the red shirt and what that was like, red shirting and having to sit back and learn and understand that I don't know it all, and having to swallow that seed. But now he's starting as a redshirt freshman. He'll probably be he'll continue to be a 3-year starter and get a shot in the NFL, God willing, if he stays healthy and continues to produce.
Listen, Mr. Stroud, I appreciate you. Just like I tell every guest, our doors, our phone lines is always open.
Right.
And, we welcome you and we hope you come back in the future.
Right.
But continue to have success. Whatever you do, when you bring that podcast on, call us up. We're going to promote that. Bring you back on and stuff. And that's what it's all about. We're going to close, and thank you. I appreciate it. Man.
I appreciate you guys for having me. Thank you. Appreciate you guys.
We want to thank you from the bottom of the New York City youth football world for all you have done.
Hey man, I'm just trying to do my part.
You're gonna play that video. All right, you got to roll.
We're back. NYC Youth Sports Podcast Show. We all about people, places, and things. We provide a platform for people who's involved in making youth sports irrelevant, the places where the games are played, the events are held, the things that bring us together as one family to promote youth sports in New York City and the surrounding counties. We want you to know, winter, spring, summer, or fall, all you have to do is view us every Wednesday at 9 o'clock and give us a call at 347-776-7070. That's 347-776-7070, or visit our upcoming new website at nycussports.org, not .com, but nycussports.org. So bring us your upcoming events, promotions, advertisement, fundraiser, because bottom line, we want you to know at our podcast show, you have a friend. Ain't that good to know that you have a friend? So good night, God bless, Coach Uncle Milt, and I'm out.